Hi there, Jamie Taylor here for Mike's Masterclasses. I just wanted to tell you all about Hedge You Win, which is my new class. And this one, as the title suggests, is all about playing the melody. Now, something that I've noticed over many years of teaching jazz guitar is that this is often an area of weakness for people. And I suspect all of us at one time or other have been in a little bit too much of a hurry to get stuck into improvising over some chord changes before we've really internalised what these composers have written. Sure, the chord sequence is a big part of that, but it's only half of it, and the melody should inform what we do with the song just as much, if not more. Now, no less an authority than Jim Hall once said that he didn't want his solo on Stella by Starlight to ever sound like his solo on All the Things You Are. And I think that says a lot about his approach. It suggests that he wanted the total composition to inform what he was going to do, and he wanted it to set up a mood that he would then sustain through his solo. And also some practical examples of how you might lay a melody out on the guitar so that you can carry the top line, you can support it with some implied harmonies, but in such a way that you don't end up with this very rigid chord melody block style, which is often quite ineffective, particularly when you're playing with a band, I think. And hopefully we're going to just imply some of the harmonies and deliver the line with a little bit of pep and a little bit of swing. And what we don't want to end up with again is this chord melody thing, you know, that I keep talking about. We don't want this. You know, we don't want to end up sounding as rigid and as bland as that. We need it to swing, we need it to have some momentum. Hopefully you'll hear a few little fragments of chord, but you should always hear the melody line coming first and always having primacy. And sometimes it's just a question of when you play the chord. I'm sure all the shapes that I'm going to use are fairly familiar to you, but it's just about placement sometimes as well. As usual, there's a PDF with captions and everything's tabbed out and notated so that you can see exactly what I've played. And hopefully there's some really practical stuff in there for you. In terms of other products of mine that this follows on from, it would certainly be a nice companion piece to the comping classes that I did. There's a two-part course up on Mike's site called A Guide to Practical Comping. And I think the first of those parts particularly, if you haven't seen it already, would support this one very well. Because I'm going to be assuming again in this lesson that you've got access to all the basic drop 2 and drop 3 chord shapes, because assuming that you know what those are, then there are various things we can do with them to make them a little bit more creative. Just knowing those fingerings and knowing those inversions is the first step, but by itself it doesn't really lead to an effective delivery of a composition. So I hope some of you will check it out. As always, I've tried to make sure that there's stuff in there for people at different levels. Some of it gets quite advanced in the delivery, but actually the principles behind all of this are really very simple. And it's not really a huge chunk of information. Those of you that have been working with me already and have bought some of my products before, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for your custom. You'll get an idea, I think, by now of the way I approach all of this. And a lot of this really is thought processes and a philosophy, it's not really a huge chunk of theoretical information. But nevertheless, as I say, this particular lesson, you would benefit, I think, from having that good grasp of basic harmonies, basic chord voicings on the instrument. And if you haven't checked it out already, then as I say, the practical comping course of mine would help. Anyway, I really hope some of you will come and have a look and that you'll find it beneficial. And as always, I hope I'll see you in class.